Hello everybody, welcome to another Andy's KR, and this might actually be my last KR. I'm not sure, might be moving on to other things. So I thought in case this is my last one, I should make this one a personal thank you message to L. Ron Hubbard, because it's a video that I want to make for a while, and I think this is something that I would say if I was like speaking at L. Ron Hubbard's funeral or something. I just thought it'd be good. It's just a thank you message to LRH. So I'll read it out. Dear LRH, you're a great guy and I wish I had met you while you were alive. I have benefited a lot from the information you have put out there. Probably clearing words is your best piece of advice. It's amazing to think that I used to read things and not even know what the words meant that I was reading. Hence, my comprehension was poor even though I got good marks at school. But marks are calculated by comparison with my fellow students, so I think that just proves that the average student literally can't read. Just amazing. I think I used to be so confused about things that I was in an overwhelm of confusion, and so I couldn't spot that I didn't know what certain words meant. It's like if you have a messy house with junk everywhere, you might not notice that the walls need painting. Well, now after years of clearing heaps of words, I can now read quite well and fast, and I don't have to keep on looking up words. Why is this good, you might say? Why is it great to be able to read well and fast? Well, of course you know why, but to people who are listening, it means I can learn about life and learn the truth about the world because I can now study. There is so much to know. Bad people have been working to keep you unaware of things so that you work and do what you're told. Thank you for your information about the world that you put out there in Scientology and in your fiction books. I also can and have been studying incredible amounts of other people's writings and learnt tons from them as well. Of course, before you taught me about looking up words in dictionaries, I couldn't study things. I would just get bored or feel bad and give up. Phenomena us Scientologists know all about. Well, people not being able to read properly and not being taught how to read at school just keeps nearly everyone stupid. No wonder people want to watch sport, play games, take drugs, watch TV, because studying is too hard and studying life isn't interesting. Well, of course it's interesting, people just don't know this. The interesting information has been kept hidden from them by the bad guys. And I'm so happy you opened me up to learning about these interesting informations. It sent me on an adventure that I frankly cannot believe I am on. It's just amazing. Life isn't this boring thing where you just work then die. There's a lot more going on. I used to feel bad in general before doing Scientology, but then I found out more and more of the truth and improved my knowledge and health, etc. I felt better and better, and I can play the game of life much better. Thank you for your study tech. Just gold. Gold. I want to thank you now for your information about suppressive people, evil people. Absolutely fantastic information, mate. They don't teach you these things at school. Are people aware that there are some people out there, like 3% of the population, who are sick, perverted, evil criminals that literally dedicate their lives to enslaving man? They are causing our problems in the world and we need to lock them up. They are the ones who start ridiculous wars like Vietnam, who sell pregnant women morning sickness pills that end up deforming their babies, who push certain vaccines which they know cause brain damage. They do this and they enjoy doing this. This is what they get off to. They are also pedophiles. Do people know this? Well, I think people need to know this and how to spot these people. By the way, these evil people, they're literally trying to legalize pedophilia. I'm not joking. And a lot of them are top politicians. I was just listening to something about Hillary Clinton and the guy who was like a former CIA, like a really smart guy. I think his name is Robert David Steele. He was saying that if Hillary Clinton got into power, she would have been pushing for pedophilia to be legalized. No joke. But of course, they won't report it like that on the news. They'll report it in some other worded way that twists it so that you don't realize that it's that like they'll put some spin on it that makes it sound nicer and more acceptable, but it'll be basically legalizing pedophilia. Or they just won't even talk about it in the news. That's how crazy it is. L. Ron Hubbard has information about evil people and how to spot them. He calls them SPs. Thank you, LRH, for this information. Utterly life-changing. Living a life where you can avoid these people is great. When you don't know how to spot them, you can't avoid them. Next thing I would like to thank you for is how you taught me about the reactive mind. There is a crappy part of our mind that stores the bad experiences we have had. It's called the reactive mind, and it can be gotten rid of, or at least its effect on us in general can really be weakened. Have you ever met someone who's been abused in the past? Notice how they are screwed up now? You know, one of those, I don't know, people who have been abused, or like sometimes you can notice it with like animals. Like it was an animal that had a former owner that was like abusive to it, and the animal was like messed up. Well, something can be done about that. Well, with Scientology, one can get rid of this bad emotion and junk in their reactive mind so that they can live again and feel normal and not be that poor abused victim. Now, I was never abused, but I did have some junk in my trunk, and it's been great getting rid of it with Scientology and other self-improvement things like yoga, access bars, etc. Psychiatry might not know how to cure someone's mental illness like depression, but Scientology and other spiritual practices sure can. You might find this hard to believe, but money-hungry, evil people work for the drug companies, and they want psychiatry to cure, and they don't want psychiatry to cure people with free techniques. They want people taking their drugs, their medications. It's good for shareholders and profit. Thanks for teaching me about my mind. Actually, the most benefit I got from this was understanding that other people's minds were messed up. So knowing this allowed me to get along better with other people. For example, if an always angry person is angry at me, I don't take personal offense like I used to. It's just that person's big reactive mind, that person's got a big reactive mind, and they are just always angry. So it's not like they really have a reason to be angry with me. It's quite funny. I noticed this with some of my comedy stuff. Some people would find me funny, some people would find me not funny, and some would get angry and offended. Of course, the people who got angry were usually angry all the time, so I conclude that there was nothing wrong with my comedy. They just need to get rid of their reactive mind. I think I'm right about this, and I'm sure you're on my side with this one. They also tend to be like drug addicts and shit, and just like losers, like just mentally messed up people and stuff. They tend to come hand in hand. Like the more someone's below tone 2 on the tone scale, the more they tend to have these sorts of things. Thanks for helping to wake me up to who I've been in my past lives and basically just who I am. Also, they tend to be more atheists, and that's a big giveaway. And they also tend to be less believing in spirituality and those sorts of things. So that's a big indicator that there is a God, or there is more going on, there are other dimensions, and that OT abilities are possible. Like, if you look at these people who are below tone 2, literally, I can now see, because I know a lot about the world now, that they're wrong like so often. So you can give them a question, and if they give you like a yes, then you know the right answer is actually a no. You know what I mean? Honestly, seriously, they're wrong so many times. I remember one of them told me something recently, and I was just like, great, it's great you told me that, because now I know I'm going to do the opposite. Serious. Like, and so if they don't like you or something, then it's probably a sign that you're doing something right or something. But it's just amazing. It's really handy when you know how to spot these people, and then you can go to them for advice, and they'll tell you, don't buy that car or something, and you're like, great, I know I should buy that car. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like that, you know. Thanks for helping to wake me up to who I've been in my past lives and basically just who I am. Do people know they are a non-material spirit? You don't have a spirit, you are a spirit, not your body. The body dies, you don't. There's evidence for this. Thanks for putting out evidence out there. Like most things in Scientology, I didn't believe them until I saw evidence for it. Of course, it's only rational to think that past lives don't exist until you've seen evidence for it, which there is, and it's amazing, it's out there. The truth is out there, and if only a tiny percentage of the population can move objects with their minds, it doesn't mean it's not possible, because oh boy, it is. Thanks for telling people about this. I remember when I first got into Scientology and someone said to me, you can bend a spoon with your mind. And I thought, oh yeah, that's just some positive thinking bull. But I kept an open mind, and then years later I saw it for myself. Just amazing. These days I regularly predict the future. It's quite funny, and I also can work way better. It's almost like I can control time or something. I get things done too quickly. It almost causes problems. Whereas before, everything was such a drag and was so slow and long and effort and heavy and it's just like this all the time. That's what it's like when you're a slave. It's great to be on a path to finding out who I've been or what I've achieved in my past lives. I don't like not knowing things. I think Scientology and what you represent is a movement for knowing things. I think that's a great goal to have in life. You just know as much as you can. If you're dumb, then you get taken advantage of by these evil guys. Finally, I would like to thank you for taking on the world. Some bad people are in power here on Earth, and you didn't give up. You took them on. You tried to do something about the crap that they were doing to the human race. You worked hard, never gave up, really played the game of life. You could have sat back and lived a good life as a fiction author, making money, writing good books, living in a mansion in LA or something. But you found out that there was more to life, and you investigated it, and then you worked damn hard to help the average person. You worked damn hard to save this planet, and I really appreciate that. If it weren't for you, it's possible that my existence could have been horrible, living as a slave in some type of crazy science fiction movie like 1984. You could see that that is what the bad guys were planning for the world, and you knew how painful people's existences would be and how cruel that is, so you fought it. Good on you. I really don't think you made many mistakes. Some people do criticize you, but hey, they weren't there in your shoes, and they didn't know all the information that you knew. I'm sure you made the right decisions with the information you had at that time. In hindsight, it's easy to criticize. I've been studying what happened to you throughout your life and what happened to your church, and it would make an amazing movie. Of course, people would just think it's all fiction because it's that wild. But yes, it looks like you really pissed off some powerful people, and they worked damn hard to take you out. But you lived a full life. You made it to your mid-70s, which is just amazing, and managed to finish Mission Earth, a 10-book saga, and finished a lot of the Scientology stuff. The real high levels of Scientology, I'm not sure if that was finished, but at least you got a damn lot of it done. By the way, I do think you got up to like OT 15 done, but whether or not we can get our hands on it, someone like Pat Broker would be gold for information on that. Yes, your life was well lived. You helped a lot of people. You knew if you just started a church that only taught people to... if you just started a church that only taught people to clear words, that would be a huge, great thing for mankind. It really would fix up the education system and improve our society. But man, you did a lot more than teach people to just clear their words. It looks like you were far ahead of your times, and although there were many out there who couldn't and still can't see your genius, one day they might. And you had and will always have your adoring Scientologists who knew you were onto some real good science with this religion you started. A lot of the stuff you were talking about is in fashion now, and scientists are really getting into it. You really took being ahead of your times to an extreme. This is just early days, and your interesting religion might just be the next Christianity in 1,000 years. But I know for sure that there will always be at least a small group of Scientologists correctly practicing your religion and getting great wins and having fun with it. That you can take to the bank. Although the church that you, your wife, and top Sea Org OTs tried so hard to protect, ended up falling into bad hands. It was good while it lasted, and remember, even an altered version of Scientology benefits people. It sure did with me. Also, maybe you always knew that a big organization would end up getting corrupted, and hope and freedom could only lie independently of a big organization. The big organization attracts all the crap and attention, but quietly people independently practice your religion, and it's kept pure, and people go free. You can't open up a door to the prison and yell out to all the prison mates, "Come here to get out." Quickly the prison guards would block that exit. I think it can only be done sneakily through a small exit, one by one, quietly in the middle of the night. I'm sure you get the literalness of this analogy, and this might have been your goal all along, your plan B of freeing people. So I think that's about it for this thank you message. You are my personal savior. I don't want this to be like some sort of religious praising, but you are a top bloke with great information that really improved me, and that I will always recommend to others and will fight to protect, not in a silly warlike fighting way, because that's just stupid. I could never have been who I am now, right now, without your help. In fact, it's quite possible that I could be dead. So thank you very much. Good luck with what you are doing now, which I assume is something political, because you can't practice Scientology while bombs are going off in your backyard. You always handle the right problem. I love your strength. SPs don't deter you. I love the not caring what people think. In fact, as soon as I started not worrying about what others thought of me, I felt so much better. It's quite nice. Fear enslaves people. A lot of the bad things you predicted back in the 60s have come true all over the world, but I'm sure because of Scientology and your movement, a lot of this societal degradation has been slowed down. If you never existed, it scares me to think how bad things would be today. In fact, I was quite surprised to find out how many truth seekers and corruption fighters out there have at one time in their life been influenced by you, directly or indirectly. You really contributed to the mass awakening, which really seems to be happening at the moment. Thanks one last time, and good luck with your endeavors. We need you, real bad. We need as much help as possible. There's some good signs, but there's also a lot of bad going on. And just in case you're not in this area or planning on moving on to someplace else, please don't do so. Unless you send tons of freedom fighters as a replacement, as a part of your KSW. In that case, I will approve it. Please keep up the good work, Commodore. Please keep playing the game where everyone wins. I know I will be. From your best friend that you never met, quite possibly your loyal officer, Andy Nolch. P.S. Mission Earth was gold. The sexy Russian spy. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, no. I won't explain that last little line if you haven't read Mission Earth or whatever, because it'll ruin the joke for you. Yeah, so that's my thank you message to L. Ron Hubbard. It might be my last KR, I don't know. I might move. Let me know what you think, if I should continue making these KRs in the comment section. I might move on to doing KRs like about other things in the world, so not Scientology related. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I don't know if I can fit it in. But anyway, I've definitely made most of the KRs I wanted to do, but there's still heaps more to make. But anyway, that's my thank you message to L. Ron Hubbard. I've been Andy Nolch, the Space Cowboy. Thanks for listening.